This was the first song they ever sent me, and it's a song that actually got them some attention as well. It's called You Will Play Back. Is that too loud? And again, the recording's kind of, you know, but again, if they get a little bit of recognition and get around the world, who knows, there might be a producer out there somewhere who said, come on over, record in my studio. Again, leaving Iran is a risk.
So these guys are in their early 20s. You've known them for how long?
I've known the lead singer Nakan now for 3 years. So it was 3 years ago when he contacted me to help him get the word out about his band and play his songs for the world and get them interviewed and, you know, their music reviewed and stuff. So it's been 3 years.
So they were teenagers?
Yeah, they were in their teens. The audio recording wasn't great because apparently, you know, having a recording studio in Iran is tough. But I still got the word out for them, you know, and I shared the music with the world, let them know that, you know, heavy metal is alive in Iran. They're out of Tehran. They're a thrash metal band. They even have like a DJ in the band that does their samplers, and he's the other one that's been arrested alongside with the lead singer, Nakan. So there's only 2 members that were arrested. They were held in solitary confinement in the Evin prison in Tehran. They were released on like $1 billion rial or whatever the currency is over there, which equals to about 30,000 US bail. So they're out. They apparently will have legal assistance for this. So they're just kind of sitting back, you know, waiting to see what the outcome would be of these charges. And again, the biggest concern I would have, okay, so the government has the right to arrest them. There are laws. But the biggest concern I have over this is this blasphemy charge and the possibility of being executed for it.
What's the sign? No more tears, everlasting pain. Break the price, life and fair, nothing will be changed.
What's the metal scene like in Iran? Describe it.
The best I can describe it, and from what I have learned, it's very active, it's alive. And I think there is, from what I'm learning through my research, that there's 2 sides to the metal scene in Iran. There are those who do not sing about anti-government. They don't sing about anti-religion. In fact, they embrace the religion and everything in their songs. And then there are bands who don't. Those bands, they can be jailed. They face execution if the lyrics are anti-religion. The first charge, in what was the message that was sent to me, is a charge of blasphemy. And that is more based on their singing about songs, anti-religion, anti-government. And that blasphemy charge, from research I've done in just the past 48 hours, can result in execution. Blasphemy, advertising against the system, form and running an illegal underground band and record label in the satanic metal and rock music style, writing anti-religion and atheistic, political, and anarchistic lyrics and interviews with foreign or forbidden foreign radio stations, which is where I came in with it.
That's you?
That's why I took this to heart. And when they reached out to me, I was like, wow.
So what are the chances of you getting in touch with these guys now?
Right now, no, there's no chance. And you know, I really fully understand why. First off, the government has them silenced. They have no more access to their websites. They can't access Facebook. If they do somehow try to start communicating with this, they could end up having more severe punishment. Even lashings. All these years later, they still lash people for crimes.
Your best knowledge, what are these guys doing right now?
They are staying very low-key and quiet, to my understanding right now. This story, because they asked me to get it out and get the word out, actually has taken off now. And just as of today, has really picked up some speed. And that has the band even more concerned now because it's gotten more exposure than they really expected.
Has it ever come up about them fleeing Iran to go somewhere else?
They haven't talked about fleeing the country. They've talked about getting out of the country so that they can get on stage and perform their music and share their songs and stories with the world. The problem with that is, from what they've told us, is that should they leave to do that, their families end up being at risk. And they quite possibly, not be able to return to Iran. And if they do, they would face exactly what they're facing right now. And their families would be in jeopardy.
As someone who's a friend of these guys living so far away, it must feel frustrating. your perspective right now, being able to do absolutely nothing?
I feel super honored that they reached out to me to ask me to get the word out. And then after seeing what's happened with this, and then hearing that they're even more in fear now because it's getting exposure. It's getting the world to talk about what happens when musicians or even artists for that matter in these countries express something that goes against their belief system. I spoke just this evening before you guys got here, another very well-known musician for another well-known heavy metal band in Iran actually was questioning my story and saying that they thought it might be fake. And the reason being is, their band is bigger and there's a lot of other bigger bands, heavy metal bands over there that have not been targeted or able to play freely. Why was Confess? Why did this happen to them? They're not that well known. It has to do with a song that they released. It got the attention of the government, apparently.
How does it make you feel? You kind of gave these guys an outlet into the Western society, and it might be that which got them in shit with their government. How does that make? Does it give you pause going forward, or do you just want to help these guys have their voices heard no matter what?
That's it. Yeah. I mean, if they're willing, and they've been willing to risk it all, doing what they do, just to do something they love. I think right now, the way it is, I would continue to do it, regardless. If another band from Iran reached out to me today, I would play them. I think that musicians, regardless of where you are in the world, regardless of your language, regardless of your religion, regardless of anything, should have the right to be able to write your songs, sing about it, and perform them. They should not be executed for it. Now, the other part of the government's laws, I can't disagree with. I mean, if they have a law and they say, look, we don't allow that, then, bands playing music over there should be a little bit more careful about it. This is the risk. I don't know if we can change the laws, but the story itself, if it reaches the right person who's either in government capacity, working in some way that they can actually assist these musicians and bring about change, that would be the best thing.
Did the whole Pussy Riot thing come to your attention at all?
Yeah, it did. Actually, it did. I was actually thinking about reaching out to them to send this over to them, and I wouldn't be surprised now, given that how much this has exploded, if they haven't already heard about it. If the story reaches the right person, can help. And it's going to take somebody at that level to say, what about one of the Iranian ambassadors to the U.S. and Canada, which coincidentally I've tried calling both offices and you can't get through to either one. Canada's line is no longer in service. United States is busy, so, even trying to get the right people involved. But I have reached out to Amnesty International. I do have an organization out of Copenhagen, Denmark called freemuse.org who have actually written pieces regarding this similar situation with filmmakers and other musicians in Iran, just most recently is 2013 or 14, and they're looking into this as well.
It sounds like you've been doing a lot since you found out about this. Talk about that, and why have you taken it upon yourself to try to do something?
I've taken it upon myself because my source, who is close to the band, reached out to me and specifically said that, they asked me to help get the word out. That's why I've taken it on. And when I see in the charges for, being interviewed on forbidden foreign radios, how am I forbidden? I play music from bands from all over the world, There's Iraqi bands that get played on our station. There's bands from Syria that get played on our station. There's bands from, Israel. They're all over the world. I'm just giving the artist a voice, I'm allowing their voice to be heard. That's, the concept behind my websites and my radio station, the Metal Nation. We don't care what your age is. We don't care what sex you are. We don't care what religion you are. We don't care what race you are, what language you speak. If you love heavy metal, we love you. As far as being an ambassador, no, I'm just the gatekeeper, welcoming people to the Metal Nation. Confess, they're definitely, they've got the key to the gates of the Metal Nation. You know what I mean? And any band for that matter, give them the free key so they can come in at any time.
These are 20-year-old kids growing up in Iran, one of the most repressed societies. For them to know about you and for you to give them an outlet to the world, what do you think that meant to those kids?
It was exciting to them. I know it was exciting to them. Well, I was playing their music one day on the radio station, and I gave them a screenshot proving that I played them on the station. And in that set of music, there was a Slayer song. I sent it to them. I said, here, played you guys tonight. And they shared it right away. Oh, we're so lucky. American Metal Nation Radio or Canadian Metal Nation Radio played our music. Look, right in with Slayer, and they're all really impressed. For them, it was exciting because, again, somebody outside of their world recognized them and shared them with other people around the world. So they knew in their hearts that people around the world was hearing their music, which was exciting because all they want, at the risk of everything that they're going through right now, was to one day be able to, travel outside of Iran, go to another country, another city, and play their music for people. That's the passion any musician has. But that's another thing I love about doing my internet radio thing, is I don't have people over my shoulder saying, you can't play that band, they haven't made the charts. You can't play that band, they're not signed to a label. You can't play that band, they're from this country, or they're this religion, or they sing about this stuff, or there's foul language. I play it all. If it sounds good and I can headbang to it, and my listeners can headbang to it and enjoy it, I play it. Because that's what's going to happen is people around the world right now are talking about what band? Confess. It started grassroots, internet radio, people who cared enough to give an independent artist a voice, let their voice be heard. And it's proud for me to know that they're getting the attention, but at the same time, I'm scared.
Now, if those guys somehow hear this, what would you say to them?
Stay strong. Just stay strong and know that the metal community's behind you. We are. I can see it. I've seen how much the metal community has embraced this story, which is awesome. I don't want people to start bashing on Iran. I don't want people to start bashing on Muslims. I think they should just try to support the band and try to help them get free from this.